Biomed Nexus, daily updates, your essential biotech, medtech, and pharma recap. No noise, just what matters. TLDR, the FDA accepted Replimune's, REPL, resubmitted BLA for RP1, vuselimogene oda-parep-vec, plus nivolumab in advanced melanoma, with a response expected by August 2026, according to RTT News. Biopharma Dive described the acceptance as the latest example of changing attitudes at the FDA. We have tracked RP1 since its second CRL earlier this year. Definium Therapeutics closed an upsized $805 million public offering days after reporting positive Phase 3 data for DT-120 in major depressive disorder, according to the pharma letter. This is one of the largest follow-on offerings by a clinical-stage biotech in 2026. The European CHMP recommended the marketing authorization for Amgen's Tavneos, avacopan, be revoked, according to Biopharma Dive. This follows the FDA's own call for voluntary removal over patient deaths, which we covered on June 17th. The European Commission opened a formal antitrust investigation into whether Sanofi disparaged a rival flu vaccine recommended for vulnerable patients, according to the pharma letter. The Medicare GLP-1 Bridge program launches Wednesday, July 1st. Executive takeaway: the Replimune acceptance matters beyond one drug. RP1 received 2 complete response letters from the FDA, 2 rejections. Most companies would have shelved the program. Instead, Replimune resubmitted, and the FDA accepted the filing with a response target of August 2026. Biopharma Dive framed this as part of a broader pattern. The FDA under acting leadership appears to be reconsidering some of the more aggressive regulatory positions taken during the Macquarie era. The Unicure Huntington's reversal, the Regan-XBO Duchenne filing acceptance, and now the RP1 resubmission all point in the same direction. Whether this represents a genuine philosophical shift or simply the absence of a strong commissioner pushing a particular agenda is an open question. But for companies with programs that were rejected or delayed over the past year, the signal is clear: resubmit. The door may be more open than it was. On a completely different front, the EU is having a rough week in pharma governance. The CHMP recommended pulling Tavneos off the European market, matching the FDA's voluntary removal request. And the European Commission opened an antitrust case against Sanofi for allegedly disparaging a competitor's flu vaccine. 2 different regulatory actions, 2 different companies, both reflecting the increasing scrutiny of pharma behavior on both sides of the Atlantic. Read full analysis, what to watch, Medicare. GLP-1 Bridge, Wednesday, July 1st. 2 days out, Lilly's Foundayo and Zepbound plus Novo's oral and injectable Wegovy all covered. $50 copay for Medicare. Part D beneficiaries. Initial enrollment volume will be the first real data point. Replimune RP1 response, August 2026. If approved, RP1 plus nivolumab would be the first oncolytic virus therapy approved in combination with a checkpoint inhibitor for melanoma. The signal from the FDA is encouraging. Section 232 Pharma Tariffs, July 31st. 32 days out for large companies, September 29 for all others. Revolution Medicines CNPV filing, nearly 4 weeks post-ASCO plenary, still pending. Regulatory FDA accepts Replimune RP1 BLA resubmission for melanoma, REPL. The FDA accepted Replimune's resubmitted BLA for RP1 vuselimogene oda-parep-vec in combination with nivolumab for the treatment of advanced melanoma on June 26th, with a response expected by August 2026, according to RTT News. RP1 is an oncolytic immunotherapy designed to selectively replicate in and destroy tumor cells while stimulating an anti-tumor immune response. The drug received 2 previous CRLs from the FDA. Biopharma Dive noted the acceptance is the latest example of changing attitudes at the FDA, and part of a broader pattern that includes the Unicure Huntington's reversal and the Regan-XBO Duchenne filing. Capital Markets Definium raises $805 million in upsized offering. After Phase 3, MDD win Definium. Therapeutics closed an upsized public offering, raising $805 million in gross proceeds on June 26, according to the pharma letter. The offering came days after the company reported positive Phase 3 data for DT120, an orally disintegrating tablet for major depressive disorder, which sent shares up 52%. The raise is one of the largest follow-on offerings by a clinical-stage biotech in 2026 and reflects investor confidence in the MDD data and the commercial potential of a differentiated dosage form in the largest CNS market. $450 million in venture funding in a single-week biopharma dive reported that 5 privately held biotech companies announced a combined $450 million in venture funding during the week ending June 25th, one of the busiest weeks for fundraising since April. The pace of venture investment combined with the IPO window, 13 companies for 1B+, underscores the health of the private biotech capital markets heading into H2. EU regulatory CHMP recommends Tavneos marketing authorization be revoked. The European CHMP recommended revoking the marketing authorization for Amgen's Tavneos avacopan for ANCA-associated vasculitis, according to Biopharma Dive. This follows the FDA's call for voluntary removal over patient deaths, which we covered on June 17th. The dual regulatory action on both sides of the Atlantic is unusual and reflects serious safety concerns. Amgen's Duke independent analysis, commissioned to defend the drug's safety profile, apparently did not convince European regulators. EU opens antitrust investigation into Sanofi flu vaccine campaign. The European Commission opened a formal antitrust investigation into whether Sanofi breached EU competition rules by disparaging the only rival flu vaccine recommended for vulnerable patients with risk factors, according to the pharma letter. The investigation adds to the regulatory pressure facing Sanofi, which is also navigating the riliprubart Phase 3 failure in CIDP and the upcoming Dupixent patent cliff. Diagnostics, Deep Health receives FDA clearances for AI breast imaging. Tools, Deep Health received FDA clearances for new AI-powered breast imaging tools on June 25th, according to RTT News. The clearances add to the growing portfolio of AI diagnostics receiving regulatory approval across radiology, pathology, Roche, PathAI partnership from May, and liquid biopsy, Natera Signatera companion diagnostic from May 15th. AI in diagnostics is one of the fastest growing areas in med tech. The week in review, June 22, Monday, AbbVie, Apogee, $10, 9B, Dupixent Challenger, Merck, Tulisokibart, Phase 3, UC positive, BIO International opened, June 23rd, Tuesday, Pfizer, Seagen ADC Phase 3 miss, Ebola at 1,003 cases, HHS clinical trials reform, K2 antigen 2B TCE, Definium MDD Phase 3 positive, 152%, June 24th, Wednesday, Sangamo, Chapter 11, Lilly, Astellas, circling Fabry, Lilly, Abisco, 14th deal, In Silico, SK2, 5B AI CNS, Olin, 330 ml retinal disease, BIO, US Public Health is gone, June 25th, Thursday, Merck, KGaA, Biotechny, $11, 3B, Life Sciences Tools, Revolution, RM-5 doubles chemo response, Takeda appoints Julie Kim, CEO, Ionis Tryngolza approved, FDA hiring 2,200, June 26th, Friday, FDA accepts Replimune RP1 BLA resubmission, August response. Definium 8051 MedTool offering, CHMP recommends Tavneos revocation, Sanofi EU antitrust investigation, Deep Health AI imaging. Catalyst calendar, date, event, tickers, Wednesday, July 1 Medicare GLP-1 Bridge program launches, LLY NVO July 31, Section 232 Pharma tariffs, effective, large companies. Multiple August 2026 Replimune RP1 plus Nivolumab FDA response, August 22 Capricorn, Diramio Cell PDUFA, Duchenne Cell Therapy, Capriminent Revolution Medicines, CNPV NDA filing RVM Diminent Lilly, Foundayo T2D filing under CNPV LYQ3 2026 Revolution, Daraxonresib approval projected, Truist, RVMDQ3, 2026 Unicurie, Huntington's gene therapy under review Q REQ3, 2026 ReganXBIO, Duchenne gene therapy, BLA filing RGNXQ3, 2026 Teva, Emalex, close expected Teva Q3, 2026 GSK, Nuvalent, close expected GSK Q3, 2026 ABBIE Apogee, close expected ABBV Q3, 2026 Merck, KGaA Biotechne, close expected MKKGY 1026 Didasamtinib, PDUFA, ROS1 NSCLC, GSK NUBL 226 Neladalkib, PDUFA, ALK NSCLC, GSK NUBLH2, 2026 Merck SSC TMT, global filing, expected MRKH2 to Medingisic Fundeo, T2D regulatory action, expected LLYH2, 2026 Ajax registrational trial initiation, expected LLY 2026, TRIUMPH2, Retatrutide T2D, readout, expected LLY 2026, TRIUMPH3, Retatrutide CB disease, readout, expected LLY SEPT19 Ultra Genix, UX111 PDUFA, Sanfilippo type A gene therapy, Rare Sept 29 Section 232, pharma tariffs effective, all other companies, multiple deck 2026 Mineralez Lorandrostat, PDUFA Lice 2027 Retatrutide launch, anticipated BMO LIDEC, 7 Lilly, investment community meeting LLY, read, full analysis Biomed, Nexus Pro institutional intelligence brief. The FDA reset, 3 regulatory reversals in 3 weeks tell a consistent story. Unicor, June 17th. FDA reversed its demand for additional trial data and accepted the Huntington's gene therapy filing for accelerated approval. ReganXBIO, June 25th, completed dosing for Affinity Duchenne and is on track for Q3 BLA filing. Biospace reported the company is planning to test the agency's apparent newfound rare disease outlook. Replimune, June 26th. After 2 CRLs, the FDA accepted the RP1 BLA resubmission with an August response target. Biopharma Dive wrote that these decisions reflect changing attitudes at the FDA and noted they follow the exits of Makary and Prasad. The acting leadership, which includes Michael Davis at CDER and Karim Mikhail at CBR, appears to be taking a less confrontational approach to borderline applications. For companies with programs that were rejected, delayed, or subject to unexpected FDA demands over the past 18 months, the environment may have shifted. The data requirements have not changed, but the willingness to engage constructively on filing strategies appears to have improved. Medicare Bridge, what Wednesday looks like. The Medicare GLP-1 Bridge program launches July 1st. Key details: 50-month copay for Medicare. Part D beneficiaries covers obesity, BMI 30+, and overweight with comorbidities, BMI 27+. Lilly, Foundeo, oral, and Zepbound, injectable, covered. Novo, oral Wegovy and injectable Wegovy covered. No prior authorization required for the first 90 days. Enrollment through participating pharmacies and telehealth providers. Initial enrollment volume in the first week will be the most watched data point in the GLP-1 space. Analysts estimate 500,000 to 1 million Medicare beneficiaries could enroll in the first quarter. The program was a core component of the MFN pricing framework negotiated earlier this year. H1 2026, where we stand as we enter the final week of H1 2026, 134B plus in M&A, 33 deals over 1B. 14 plus, Lilly deals totaling 30B plus, 50B plus in China licensing value. 13 biotech IPOs raising 4 1B plus, 805 Memix Definium offering, largest clinical stage follow-on. 3 ASCO plenary practice changes, 28 3% Retatrutide weight loss, OSHR 0. 40 Daraxonresib 1003 Ebola confirmed cases, 0. Permanent FDA Commissioner, CDER Director, or CBR Director. Medicare Bridge launches, Wednesday. Section 232 tariffs effective in 32 days. The second half starts this week. Visit the Pro Hub read. Full article, is your company listed in the Biomed Nexus directory? 2,104 companies across 14 categories. Claim or upgrade your listing. Sponsorship slots for 2026 are limited. See packages and pricing. New Biomed Nexus signals. Weekly sales intelligence for life sciences BD teams. Learn more